each other to record. Cause you know how I get to talking and then you be like, what you said last time? I don't know.
Right.
I'm like, I do not know. Okay, so where'd you put I put the space in here for you to put your notes. To drop them here.
Okay, I'll drop them there.
Yeah, so
I just created another the kind of my process, what I take people through.
Okay, yeah, that's necessary.
Okay. And that's why I thought it went there.
Put it there, but don't go here.
Okay. I was laughing. So you sound like, what? Okay.
So it does. I want to see what you got going on. And you say you talk to her tomorrow?
Yeah, because she's been out of town, but I sent her the questions. Just a few questions like, what made you come to me? What's been the process? Like, how have I made you feel supported? What outcomes have you gotten in your life? And where have you seen a shift in your life? Like, I think it's like 5 questions, but I told her she can either send it to me on email, reply. And she's like, girl, I'd rather just talk it through. I said, okay.
Yeah, that ain't something I was going to say.
Yeah. But I sent it to her in advance because because I know some people like to think about it, right?
But the best
her personality is that.
But the real best answers to really get what she's thinking is for her not to prepare.
Okay. But that's the reason I did it, because that's partly how she likes to think. And usually, like on our calls, sometimes it take her a while to come up with. I'd be like, okay, I have to pull her to come up with even just what she thinks about certain stuff. So I was like,
and that does make sense. But when you really want to get, it's like the same thing when we go through, when we really want to get an authentic answer, it is those impromptu blurt outs.
Okay.
Right. Because that's what the real heart is wanting to say.
Yeah, that's true.
The professional me is so much smarter
than
the real me.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I found in myself, I'm the most eloquent writer ever, and I love the English language. So if you ask me to write something, it's going to be how you're gonna see this doctorate in me. Okay. But if you just talk to me, you're gonna feel the heart of me. So that's why I found very early on that video worked very well for me over me writing, because it was 2 different people.
I get that for me too. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Off the cuff messages.
So when you're asking your people like the why or what do they, and that's why I start everything out with what people say, what do they say? Because the saying of what they, that's how we put it all together, because the saying of what they really think they want gives us the overarching idea of what that means for them.
Okay.
Right. So just for future reference, when you're doing testimonials, your best testimonial is going to be after or right before a session.
Okay.
So just record and say, hey, and just get a testimonial, because it won't be prepared. Everybody, it's like the whole concept of prayer. I don't pray like Carmen. I don't pray like Beverly. I pray like me. Right. But in the context of church, now I feel like my prayer not good enough. So let me go and bring in all these big words and colloquialisms and so that's just the nature of people and how they do in order to fit in. Did you don't press the stuff? What you doing?
Oh, I just was gonna wait because hold on, let me get in there. I was gonna talk about it. Okay.
You already had a list. Let me see.
I stopped typing what I had.
Did Tony tell us that her daughter is actually getting married and planning a wedding, or did she just say they engaged?
They married, girl. They get married in
March. But did she tell us that? I thought she said they were engaged.
She said she get married.
Jesus.
Right.
Okay. So what is this now again?
This is like the process, like when I have clients, we talking through this. So I'm helping them identify the core values, what motivates them in life, kind of what they're looking for in life, and then identifying their desires that they say they want, identifying the beliefs that help them achieve it. So like what's the belief that's got you held up on that? Like what belief do you need to have that life, that desire that you have? And then we, the whole meditating and envisioning, visualizing what that looks like. And then what does that look like in real time? So if you say, oh, I want a better life, I want, a relationship with God, and I want to show up more fully, like, what does that look like every day? What are you doing every day? What is that? How is that expressed?
Mhm.
And so for them to like us talk through that, it looks like, I'm exercising 3 days a week. I'm um, having my prayer and meditation time. I am teaching, or I'm, whatever it is that they see themselves doing as far as this life that they envision they want to be fulfilled with. And then like what are the personal agreements you have to make with yourself? Wake
Mhm.
up at this time, da da da. And so this is part of that process. And then what's the accountability around it? So if you don't, what happens? And if you when you do, or when you don't rather show up in your agreement, what's the outcome? What's the consequences? Who's holding you accountable? Have you set up support systems? Because it's going to require a shift in belief and a shift in actions. And usually we don't do that by ourselves. And so we talk about my role in holding them accountable around that, but also are there other people in their life that can support them in that accountability?
Oh, that's so good.
So yeah,
Mhm.
and then tweak is necessary. But then and then specifically we get into like deeper about. So all of this is just like high level, and then we get into the nuts and bolts of like what's the why behind the desire? Are you trying to please yourself or your mama? Is that your voice speaking, or the voice you think is supposed to be speaking? Let's
And
get clear about that.
all this is, oh, oof, just girl, you be moving. Oof, then I think all this is then for what purpose? Because this sounds really deep. I want to walk through every one of those with you,
So
right?
this is what, when I have a client that comes and says, I need help in this area, tends to be where I start.
But
Like
what
whatever
area they
area,
say? What?
whatever area. So even if it's the love relationship. So what's your core, what's your values around love? What's your values around love relationships? What motivates? What do you want to be? Why do you want to be in a love relationship? Like,
Okay,
so
okay.
whatever the thing is, we get to like the core of why and what's the outcome that they want to see, and where there's a disconnect, why you don't have it now, because there's a belief happening there, or there's some action that you're not taking, which is probably also linked to a belief
Mhm.
about, your worthiness, or you can't do it, or you don't have the time, just making up whatever. What's the reason?
So if I come to you and I said that I want to get a better job, I just feel like I'm stuck in my position and I want to
Mhm.
know like how to elevate. Well, we would still start there.
Yeah, we talk about like what is it that you're not getting in that job that you desire,
Mhm.
and what value is that? What core value is that hitting for you? So if I want to make more money, okay, let's talk about that. Or is it just the money, or you want to also have a job where you feel like you're contributing, and that it's a job that's making a difference? And I will say my clarity about that, maybe I need to add that to my clients, is they're clients who have bigger purpose and mission than money. So money, they want to, they want to live, but like it's like they want to make impact in their industry, in their field.
Right.
Um, yeah.
True.
So there's
They're
a
what you call
mission-minded person.
mission minded. That makes
Mhm.
sense. Totally mission minded. Um,
So
and
so that's why I go into that kind of stuff with them, not just about like making money.
so at the end of it though, so the reason I said this is not the place for that is because this is where we come up with what is the gamut, the overarching encapsulation of the desires. So if you've heard a number of desires, right?
Mhm.
We got some real clarity around. I'm not, because I still believe
Yeah.
that you help them with their confessions of truth and divine alignment.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, if you had to just compartmentalize three things that everybody comes to you and they're in these three compartments, like, because the whole process of the ultimate desire is what are you helping them achieve? Like, if you could help Tamara say, hey, if I can help you do this, this, and this, is that a full body yes for you?
Mhm. I'd say like achieving where they feel fulfilled. And part of that, and I added my notes up to the top, some other stuff about like that congruency, like your public and private life are the same, that that's what they desire, that they're authentic, that they're showing up, they're not having to.
But this the thing. How many people use the words?
I know that. I just use that. I mean, that's not what, that's what they desire.
It ain't what they
It
say.
ain't what they say. So they want to be real. That might be a word that people would use. Hold on one second. I
Go
told him
ahead.
I had to call, so he called. Hey, yeah. Mm-hmm. To live real. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you talking to me? You sound
Yeah,
like
I'm
you're on the
sorry.
phone.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, hey. Mhm.
Right. I'm reading what you're typing, and I'm like, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
authentic would probably be a better word because everybody uses that. It's
Which is why I
overused.
don't like, I was about to say,
Me
which is why I
too.
don't like it, but
That's
it is what people know.
it is what people know, and it is what they would actually say out of their mouth,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, I said it yesterday. Remember what I said?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember?
Mm-mm.
I said that I met a guy and it wasn't gonna work because I felt like I had to edit myself,
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right?
Well, we said
So
so much yesterday.
well, so much yesterday. But
But yeah.
in that compartment, that
Mhm.
would be the thing. Like even in every aspect of life, I feel like I'm now the most authentic ever, the most
Mhm.
real ever, because every part of my life had been edited. Corporate
Mhm.
America doesn't allow us to be authentic Black women at all.
Right.
School doesn't allow us to be authentic. They tell you how to conform, but our education system is just conformity paid for. And when we as we acquiesce into adulthood, to really understand the real us is a desire,
Right.
right? You want to
And
live
in our own definition of that too.
whatever
So,
that looks like.
mm-hmm.
So that probably is something that your people are actually saying, because shoot, we all said it yesterday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this is my term. This is my brand. Okay, so let's continue. What are the three compartments? So it
So
is
the authenticity, so to live in authenticity, to be connected in their faith, like to feel very much connected in their faith, to feel empowered by faith. Those are that kind of word. And then I think the other part would be making impact in some way. So like being able to influence in their field, their industry, to I don't know that one, and love. I mean, they are looking for love too.
true,
So
but if they're living
that's
authentically, if they're
yeah, I
living,
was gonna say that's part of that that
yeah.
piece. But
So
yeah.
so what we're really trying to get to, Carmen, is every part of this has to work in every area of the love power life.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm living authentically, I'm connecting to my faith, I'm living a life of influence. Is that translating into love power community? Does it translate into love power relationships? Does it translate into love power God? Like what? It should be all inclusive.
Mm-hmm. Those
So
three things.
those three things. So if you what do we help? What do we help Tamara with? Was it essentially if it was it these three things that you help her to live authentically, connect to her faith, and I feel like this is very light,
Mm-hmm.
and it might not be everybody's desire.
Right. And I think it's for her, it's been like find your voice, but that's also to me part of authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so I don't know what the third, I'm thinking through what the third thing, because the
Yeah.
things I'm thinking about align with authenticity.
Well,
Um,
also like really the truth and divine alignment. So what else? What's that? It's a last caveat
mhm.
that because it's a progression. You take them through an essential progression. Let's look at your notes. You take them through a progression of, first of all, finding out who they are. That's how they live authentically, right? The plan that they have, their personal agreements, their belief systems, that's a connection to their faith. But then you give them actions. So you're right. And then to tweak and to really start looking at the work that they've done and come back to it, right? What's working, what's not.
Yeah, because I give them like these tools that you have that I give you, like you're gonna have to use them over and over. It's not a one and done. So I'm clear about that with them. And I'm like, and can be used in pretty much any area of your life.
Exactly.
So yeah. So so when I teach them this stuff, this is, I mean,
So we got to come up with what this,
the
what
third
final,
one.
this X factor, because the X factor is ultimately that end result. Because you said that.
Well, I mean, the joy, I mean, the freedom and fulfillment piece, but I mean, yeah, so those are like been my like feeling fulfilled, feeling joy, abundance, freedom, those words.
Right. All right. So they want to live in authenticity. They want to connect to their faith. And we back to that, have a life well fulfilled, or have a life
fulfilled. I said what I would say, my thing was a faith that manifests, a life that excites, and love that fulfills.
Well, that makes sense, but that's very light.
Yep.
And we want to, if you wrapped all that up into 2 words or 3, what would it be?
Love power. Let me see. 2 or 3 words.
But people don't walk up and say, I want love power in my life.
Right.
They will say, I want a fulfilled life. They would say, I want a purpose-driven life.
Yeah, I was gonna say purpose is a word that gets used a lot. Like, what is my purpose? And
yeah, but I think it's a lot.
But for me, I dispel a lot of that with purpose, and just I'm like, we all got the same purpose.
We all got the same purpose. The Great Commission
making it hard.
Right.
With that, and like, it's to take whatever gifts God giving you and then use them to the word. That's it. Like, so you got to discover that piece, but we make it so hard. Like, it's got to be and I think I also teach and make distinction between purpose and calling, because you can have a purpose but be called to a certain thing for a certain season. Calls and assignments are seasonal, not lifetime. Some are, but not all the time.
Exactly. Exactly. And you really should have the ebbs and the flows in where because you're supposed to be evolutionary growing.
Right. Exactly.
So I literally can't be stuck in that one realm forever.
So yeah, I need to think of the X factor, what those X are.
But it's connected to the encapsulation of faith, fun, and freedom. Which, if I have faith, fun, and freedom, that is, what is it giving me?
A powerful life, let me look at my notes here from, let me see if I can find, excuse me.
I think that this is divine, that your name of your company is around
Life Fulfilled. I know. 2006 I named that company.
Yeah, and it keeps coming up for me. And it totally makes sense. But I don't know if that is our X factor, which is essentially a life fulfilled.
Oh, I hate when I like name stuff and can't remember what I named it. It ain't coming.
Did you pray about this? Wait a minute. You gotta keep your prayer life open on this work. Because this is so this essentially, I see authentic, connected, and fulfilled.
Yeah.
So does that describe Tamara? She
is now.
Yeah, she
On her
good.
way there. I think she's not quite fully fulfilled yet because this current job is a stepping stone to the next. And she's clear, but and I will say, I guess she is fulfilled because she's clear and has gotten the clarity, the word from God that this is not where she's gonna be. And so now it's just about being able to sit in a place, like sit in the in-between place, right? And hearing from God when it's time to go to the next.
True. But can you say that you're living a life fulfilled right now?
Me?
Mhm.
Not fully.
Me either. But we're living, we on the path.
Yes, for sure.
So it is, I'm not where I want to be completely fulfilled, especially not with these two grown folk living with me back again, you know.
And I think part of it too is so it's always this growing thing. Like I don't know what's the word, because we have a desire for growth and like innate desire, like it's put in us. God has put, not us, me and you, but us as
I
people,
know
humans.
people.
That there's always this piece of there's more, there's another level kind of thing. But fulfillment is this knowing that you have the path, knowing that you have what you need to get to that next, like, you know what I mean? So you may not, so it's a because if you're waiting to get there to feel happy, successful, fulfilled, you'll never
Right.
feel it.
But
And
there's a
so,
progression.
right.
You're taking them through it. Your progression is be authentic, get connected, live fulfilled.
Yeah. Actually, it's the other way. Connect it first and then, yeah. But yeah.
What you mean?
Connecting faith, like the faith helps bring the authenticity. But yeah. Like who you are divinely, like talking about that connection piece.
Mm-hmm. So is it connect to their faith, then live authentically?
Yeah.
I don't think so, because it doesn't say that's not what you take them through. You have them evaluate self first and
Yeah.
connect to, I mean, all of it's going to be intertwined with faith.
Yeah. I was going to say it never really, yeah.
It never,
It's all connected.
It's all connected. However, this is a deeper understanding of you really probably are doing a lot of work of having them understand who God is and reconnecting to the real living God and not
Right.
the God of man and church. So really, so all of it is encased in biblical principles and faith-based connectivity. But at the end of the day, you're dealing with their worthiness, you're dealing with how they perceive themselves, why they're making decisions that they're making. Can they tap into what they really want? That's still an authentic move of finding out who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even who we are, who God says we are. Still, that's that part of, you know what I'm saying? That's still it's not the faith first. Because I believe if you started with faith first, and then you got to self, the whole getting all that out of people's head is a lot.
Right. I was gonna say that's why I start there, to get to find out what even they think about faith, what their beliefs are around that. And then so yeah. So in that instant, I mean but in my mind, like you're not gonna really, like you said, it's all intertwined. But I start with where they are.
Well, we started with, you work with women of faith anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So I would think out the gate, we got some spiritual stuff going on out the gate, right? So it's still in alignment, right?
It shows up, it comes out.
Right. Be authentic, to connect, to get connected, and then live a life fulfilled. Live fulfilled. So be authentic, get connected, live fulfilled.
But it still feels light, doesn't it?
No.
It doesn't feel light.
Not in the entirety of it, because you got to create the how.
Okay.
Right. So now if I say how,
I guess I'm thinking about, like, so if somebody said, well, what do you do?
Well, we ain't done yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Jumping the gun.
You jumping the gun. This ain't the marketing. This is coming up with, what is it that people actually are buying from you? How do you differentiate what they actually want? Now, I'm gonna tell you, when we first started the other day, I was like, this feels very light. But like you said, people aren't coming to you to solve world hunger. They're coming to you because they literally are crumbling from within.
Mm-hmm.
So this is essentially life coaching.
Yeah.
And life coaching, you're not doing heavy life coach. You're not helping, addicts get rid of their stuff. These are real people looking good on the outside, holding it together.
Right.
But from the inside, they know that they're out of alignment.
Mm-hmm.
So, and part of that out of that alignment, and especially what's your age range that you're working with?
35 to like 55.
Have you done the research on the age ranges and their demographics as far as the problems and the things that arise in that? What do you see, even just from your age bracket? What do you see? Just what do you see from the collective of the women that we've been working with?
Yeah, I mean, from it's career stuff, it's love and relationship stuff, it's kid stuff, kind of, but it's that. But it's funny, my clients tend to not have kids. Like, I'm trying to think now.
Well, we normally are our clients, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense.
But
it's career stuff, it's relationships, it's self stuff, friendships, even like trying to make that connection, but it's all the self stuff. It's the pre-middle age crisis, kind of quote unquote, like trying to figure out purpose, next phase,
but why?
Evolution.
So you have to go back to why were you having this issue? Why are that middle age group people now living in a Gen Z don't give a dang? We had them Gen Z kids that they don't care. They actually going after their dreams. And, we've experienced our parents and how they raised us. Like, what does all that tell you about your demographic?
Yeah. Feeling lost a little bit.
But why?
Wanting to jump and go, but still have the desire for security.
What did I ask you? What am I asking you for?
You're asking me for the going through
remember.
life experiences.
Okay. So they're feeling what? Feeling lost?
Yeah, feeling lost, or so like you said, they see, like, online, right? Seeing these folks going after their dreams, doing what they want to do, and then yet still have this voice and this tethering to, like, you got to be secure. You can't just jump out there, girl, you too old. Like, that's this whole mindset of, it's really security, I think, is the piece, like the fear of losing everything, jumping after your dreams, the desire, can you really follow your desires? Those kind of life questions, but then also we talked about relationships. So again, none of my clients have been married. So much like me, right?
Yeah.
So like you say, we attract who we are. So
okay, so hold on. Concerns around love. What else?
Money.
Money, career.
Yeah, career. And family. Because even like now, like raising older family members, like that's a conversation. Matter of fact, Tamara and I just had before about her, taking care of her, the role you play in it as you evolve. So what the family dynamics and how you show up, and the family's like, oh, Carmen's always this, but Carmen's not that anymore. Yeah. So and how to deal with the changes of those dynamics when you change, everything else around you shifts.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Like, because I was having a conversation. My daughter just came back to Atlanta, and we were having a real conversation, and they just looked at me like, "Ma, this ain't what you do." And they've experienced me for this last 40 years, and that's their experience of me. They don't see they don't see the evolution for all of it, what it is. They see bits and pieces, but they're going by those decades of experience. Right.
And as you, like, or the client, being able to hold in your new truth, your new you, and not revert back, because sometimes it's just easier to just let me, and that's one of the conversations she and I, some of the coaching we're doing, helping her with her family stuff, because she's been showing up solving everybody's problem and about to kill herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so being okay with letting their stuff fall and watching that, and she's like struggling with feeling responsible for that.
So this makes it, so this is your demographic, right?
Mhm.
These are all the things that are concerned. And then I didn't say this. You were saying that they were either not married
Right, or no
or
children.
no children, and that was a desire.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now that you see all this, and this is essentially what you help them with. Why? Why is this a problem? Because you said it feels light. Why is this a problem for this demographic of people?
Partly they haven't been allowed to have it pause, I would say,
No,
to
say
get
what
in
you mean.
touch with
Say
some of
they
that.
haven't been
Huh?
allowed.
They haven't been allowed to.
Why would you
Yeah.
say allowed? Why would that word be?
Because I think it feels like they're countercultural, counter being what their generation been told, to be able to live fully. I mean, it's the old adage that, you go to school, you get a good job, and you follow the script. And when the script don't work, you're trying to figure out now what the struggle is. You don't feel connected to the script, and so you feel incongruent and inauthentic.
Right.
And now you got to rewrite your script. You got a blank canvas, but it's like, it's like almost like you got to write a paper and you're sitting there and the screen is blank and all you see is that line blinking. And you're like, what do I really want? Like, what am I going to type on this next page, this next script in my life?
Right. I like the language of the script over what we were saying up here, identify desires. Right.
Yeah.
We know that this is
identify the script that they've been acting out.
And because that's so much all of our story. There's so much all of our story. And you know what really kind of, and it's the same thing that you're saying, the whole social media seeing, looking at online at what others are doing, living, being. Let's say that others are doing, living, being, right? But they
what
are
we perceive,
but they are allowed to be those things. Whereas we conformed to that box that we were told to be in. And but that's why it's not light. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
That's a real heavy thing, because it's
right,
not,
because you're untying tradition, you're untying, because then also you bring in like I talked about before, the relationships that come with that are part of that, right? So like you were saying, like your daughters or your children see you a certain way. And so now when you show up differently, it's not just like, oh, I'm going after my dreams. Now it's also shifting the dynamic of that relationship. And so it's like there's added, it's not just you, right? So there's added influence in the process. And so how do you, and having those conversations and putting people unnoticed while honoring what once was, but letting them know things have changed. And this is how I'm showing up, and giving yourself the grace that if you fall back, that don't mean you all the way back. You know what I mean? I did a reel this morning, got like 3 people in my inbox, like, wow. Because I talked about, I had planned to get up early this morning to do this, and didn't do any of it. And like the enemy started these thoughts of like, see, you ain't doing what you're supposed to do and all this. And I wasn't obedient, because I did hear the Holy Spirit say, get on up. And I was like, oh, I'm tired. Right. And so I talked about that. Like when we got to ask for forgiveness, forgive ourselves, but ask Holy Spirit, forgive me. And now help me to redeem this time, because I got stuff I got to get done today.
right.
And while, yes, I feel like, and then that whole pressure of now I feel like I'm behind. And so I made the video when I came into the office, because I was like feeling like this. And I was like, Carmen, just pause, breathe for a minute. You're going to be all right. You're going to get this stuff done. It's going to happen. And so that kind of, I say all that to say that that pressure, like you may fall, it's not going to be perfect, right? We're learning a new skill here.
Yeah.
And giving yourself the grace and space to do that.
But I think that essentially I asked you that question about, are you living a life fulfilled? And your answer was similar to mine, but realistically, what you just said aligns with a life fulfilled because you know now what to do to reset yourself.
And that's what I teach. I'm like, don't wait till you get there. Like you're already, and that's, I mean, Debrina of this last year, that's what she beat into me because I was so hard on myself about like, I wasn't successful. I wasn't this. She was like, because you keep moving the bar.
Yeah.
She's like, you are, like now. And so that was transformational for me.
Yeah. But I think that goes back to what we were saying here. So you just in what we've done, you have a whole program. Because what was that? That's the confessions of truth and divine alignment. Because we are our hardest critic. Because we
see us. Every little thing.
Yeah, and we're with us all the time.
Right?
Yes.
And we judge ourselves. We judge our bloopers against everybody's highlights.
Yeah. And people are only gonna show you their highlights.
Right.
I mean,
that's just human nature.
There are cuts, there are edits.
Right.
The final reel is not
real.
The final reel is not real.
Right.
So there's that. And so I think that this is it. I think you need to really sit here and how does this feel? Because I really think this is it.
It feels good. It feels aligned. It feels, I feel energy around it.
Good. Especially now that we've connected it to who we talking to. And now you understand all of them because them are you.
Yeah. And I don't know why it feels transformational like that. Like this is transformational.
Shoot, when I read your notes, I was like, this is transformational. It's just not in your language.
Right. In the language of my demographic. And it's my language.
In your language, because your language different, Carmen.
I don't talk like that. I talk about desires and values.
No, you say stuff like, what we got down here? That
Faith
was like,
and grace.
Follow the script. The script didn't work. Now what?
Right.
Time to rewrite the script. Untying your tradition. Right. These are your words. Perfection, faith, and grace. Those are your language.
Yeah, that's true.
Desires and all the things. That's what we're doing in Bountiful. Sabrina has her own language. Delana has her own language.
Yeah.
We're going to pull out Carmen's language.
Yeah.
That's why as you talk, I write. Because these are your words. It's the same concept behind when you're talking to your clients. That's why I start everything with, what did they say? And you know that you wrote the book. Like, what did he say? We want to know what God said, not what you've interpreted him to say, but what did he say? It's from the heart of the person that the truth will come forward, right? So, and that's essentially what you're doing. Essentially what you're doing is bringing out, helping them to be authentic, get connected, and to live fulfilled. Why does this still say life of influence? What's wrong with it? Oh, I think I didn't change it down there. I was like, this ain't what we said.
Oh, yeah. Look at me. I'm trying to move, and I'm moving my cursor like I can help. I'm like, wait, that ain't my cursor move.
I like that ain't what we said. Okay. So essentially, and it's still and so look at what we had. We had purposeful, connected, and intentional. But those are our words. So it's be authentic. Okay, I'm all over here jumping. Is it get connected or stay connected?
I just say connect and faith.
Yeah, we want action.
Want adjectives. Okay.
Be, get, and live.
I don't know, get is it, and I don't even know stay is it, because they're women of faith already. So they would say I would say they probably feel disconnected though. So maybe they get connected.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I
that
need to sit with
I
that.
think that, listen, I talk to women of faith all the time and they are not women of faith. They have no faith.
That's true.
The words out of their mouth contradict everything that they emit,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's
Mhm.
a true connection to faith. I'm the faith person, you know. That's my thing. I am Mrs. Faith, Queen of Faith over here. So I hear when people don't have it. You can
Right,
say one thing, but what you do contradicts what you say, then
right.
there is no faith there.
Yeah.
It's
And
an
there's
action word. What you gonna say?
well, there's a disconnect between
Mm-hmm,
what they believe
mm-hmm. And how
and
they live and what they doing.
what they know, right? So they
Oh, they
know,
know it.
but but as I'm saying, but so I believe there's a deeper level. So right, you know scripture, you know, right, you know God gonna come, you know these
You
things,
don't
but you
believe.
don't believe it.
You
And that's what
don't
I think. So the
believe it.
different,
Therefore, you can't act on it.
right. So that's what I'm saying. There's a disconnect between what they know and what they actually believe.
Right. So if they disconnect, you're gonna help them get connected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if it don't feel right, you got to change it.
Yeah.
But
I need to sit with it.
you sit with it. But this makes sense for the sentence that's above,
Mm-hmm.
right? If this is what you're going to help them do, literally live in authenticity, connect to their faith, and have a life fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you're going to teach them how to be authentic? That's your first lane
Mm-hmm.
of commitment. First, you got to be authentic. If you teach me nothing else, if you help me become authentic, will my life get better?
Mm-hmm.
Would it?
It will. You at least have some clarity around that.
Mm-hmm. Or at least be standing in my power.
Mm-hmm.
I at least have some self-worth and understand what my design is.
Yeah,
Right. So if you do nothing else but help me connect to my faith, get connected back to God, would that change my life
it will
by itself?
by itself.
Will it? Are you sure?
I'm sure. Very
Okay.
sure. Like,
And
yeah, very sure.
and if you help me understand what a life fulfilled looks, feels, and is in my being, would that change my life?
It would definitely change your life.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
By
Know that.
itself.
By itself.
I think we on the song.
Mm-hmm. But I by itself, but I also feel like they work so well together. Like
True, true. But if you can't get me, if all you can do is help me in one area, would it
well, and then I
alone?
need to tease out life fulfilled because for me, it is those other two that leads to that. Like you got to have the other two that lead to life fulfilled. So that's I need to tease that out more than.
What you mean?
Well, I'm starting to think like if I can help you see that you can live a life fulfilled, the fulfillment comes from being authentic and connected.
That's why it's last. Remember, that was the X factor.
Right. And I guess so when you said by itself, I started thinking again, like maybe it's not by itself.
But if you just taught me the part of what it looks like to live a life fulfilled, I'm going to start saying, how do I get that? And you're going to
Gotcha.
say,
I see what
that's
you're
the
saying.
that's the X
I
factor of
gotcha.
everything.
Okay. I
And
got you now.
ultimately, that's what everybody wants. But baby, before you can get there, we got to start over here.
Okay. I got
So, you know, if they're just paying attention to a life fulfilled, the very first question people are going to ask, but how?
you.
Oh, but now you're asking. So I got you. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying?
Okay.
So it looks like we have come up with your program.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then we're back to what God gave you in 2006, which is a life fulfilled.
Yeah. I'm gonna let that go. What we in 2023?
2023. So, yeah, I think that's it. So what we do now at the end of the day, I'm gonna copy and paste because I like to put things together. Just so that's why I like this paper document because I can move things around.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna put that here. Is this what we did for Tamara?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And now she has, does
I'll
she
be
have,
interested to see how she defines it, but yeah, the word she uses.
yeah, I would love to know the words that she's going
Mhm.
to use. I wish you hadn't
I
pre-prepped her,
know.
gave her the cheat sheet.
Cheat sheet. I know.
But guess what? I like that language. Also, are you a teacher by nature?
It is one of my gifts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a trained teacher. It's something I actually was considering. I was like, oh, I don't want to go back to school, but like going to get like instructional design, like really learning how to lay out programs, and that just makes me tired though. Thinking about it.
Can you write this?
Women of faith. What do you mean? Can I
Women of
write?
Faith's life cheat. I want a life cheat sheet for a woman of faith.
Oh, I like that.
I like that too. That's what just came to me. You said it. Life cheat sheet for women of faith. Can you write that?
Mm-hmm. I can write that.
Okay. What it would be, it literally would be bulleted. It would be,
Mhm.
what we gonna do? You know, like we have our manifesto. You need to give me a cheat sheet for women of faith.
Okay.
What 10 things?
Okay. That they need to have in their life and see in their life.
Mm-hmm. Even and then if it ain't 10, it could be
That's what
20.
I was trying to, let me pull up. This is what I'm trying to, hold on. I don't know why I cannot find, but I had a whole list of like what the love power life is. And I don't know why I can't ever, like every time I try to look at it, that irritates me. Hold on. You know what? 'Cause I think it's in Canva. I don't think
I
I ever.
think I think love power is what you're doing, but your program is how to really live love power. But people don't say that they want love power. Love power
Right.
is a brand. So they're trying to get a better stamp on life. And especially in these times are janky.
So you think I need to not be using love power language?
Not for this. This is your
I
this is your
mean,
money maker. This is your program. I think that the tenets of love power are always going to be encapsulated in everything that you do. But love power is your brand, and what you stand for. And you can still talk about it from the standpoint there are 5 components of love power. But I think that love power is going to be something like I think that it's just an overarching brand for you. And it's talking points. It is a seminar. It is, oh, that's pretty. What is the love power life? Yeah, but I don't know how to do any of this. You gonna tell me how to do this? This
yeah, right. But I guess this is what when you were saying, what is it, like, what would even some of these pieces of what a life fulfilled would look like, serving from a cup that overflows and not out of your empty cup. Like that would
yeah,
be
but
something.
that's language that I'm not gonna know how. We talk about cheat sheet. What did cheat sheet do in the classroom?
Give you the quick version of
It
it.
gives you the answers. I
Mhm.
have a question of what does a cup fulfill? What does that mean? Right? I hear people say that all the time. Perfect example. Ayanla came out. Remember when Ayanla came out with no, you can share. I want to read.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think
Remember
I
when
closed it.
remember when Ayanla came out with Fix My Life,
Mhm.
her show? Do you remember when it first came out?
I don't remember.
You don't? Did you watch it?
Yes, I watched her
Okay.
show. I
Remember
watched it.
how she used to always say at the end of her show, do your work.
Mhm.
Do your work. Did you know what she was talking about?
Mm-mm.
Me either.
Didn't know what the
That's
word was. And
didn't know
I
what the word
mean, yeah. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, this when I'm saying here the exercises to do, sit with this, write this down. Like this is the work.
right.
This is the
But
work.
to use the language of do your work on
Right.
TV, as I see
Right.
people
Nobody knows
falling
what it is.
apart. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew what that mean. I didn't know what that mean until I met Debrina Jackson Gandy 6, 7 years later.
What the
What the
actual
work-
work was.
Because we walked through the work. So your language can't be, and as much as we love our queen leader, her language is not, it's not palatable to the world. It's only hers. And she's not gonna
And
change
not to
that.
the, and not to the real girls. Like,
Not
you
to
know what I
real-
mean? Like,
Yeah, they're gonna be like, girl, it wasn't even palatable to me. If she hadn't paid me, we couldn't tell. Because I was like, I do woo-woo stuff, this woo-woo. I don't know what this means. I need a cheat sheet for my life, Carmen. I'm a woman of faith. I'm supposed to be married if I want a husband. God's supposed to send me my man because I am a good church going girl. I've been celibate. I'm a virgin. You know, hello. These are women I talk to. 34 virgins want to be married, not 27 virgin want to be married, not ain't never did nothing wrong. All clean record.
follow the script.
Follow the script. Why, you know, where's my money? Where's my children? Where's my life? I want to travel and can't. I want to live and can't. There's all these no's in front of me. Where's my cheat sheet?
Yeah.
And it has to be something that I can identify with so that I can say, I need to talk to her. Right? Seeking and find the good in people's circumstances. What does that mean? They just killed Tyree. Yeah.
Yeah. To be able to spell that out.
Yeah. So even if you're, so it's a life that upholds integrity and truth with yourself first and others, right? The biggest lies we tell are the ones we tell ourselves. Right? Simplify that.
Yeah.
Even if it's something to every word, a cheat sheet component, every word that comes out of her mouth is true to her first. I can read that and be like,
that's actually in my well, not those specific words, but that my dominion letter, a part of that around communication. Right. I use some of that 4 agreements about impeccable with my
impeccable
words.
Word.
Oh,
that's my phone. I'm like, what? You know, I'm like, what's going on? I can't go down and answer it. One of them children. The Lord get it shouted. But so you see what I'm saying? I want your cheat sheet to really be a cheat sheet without the jargon.
Okay.
Without any of the fluff that people are going to be like, you're intelligent, but we got to speak to the heart of the people.
Yeah.
Because the reason that that final sentence looked light is because it is. Because life ain't supposed to be heavy for women of faith.
I'm
about to cry.
That's good right there.
I don't even know why I'm about to cry with that. But it ain't, and we just living so far beneath God's design for us, and there is no help, Carmen. This is if we ain't got nothing else from this year, we better go.
This is our assignment. Go.
Better go. Because they're hurting and they feel like he has forgotten them. And like I told you yesterday, I see these women. It's like, it doesn't make sense for women of faith to believe that the hoes are winning.
Right.
It's not right. But life ain't heavy. It shouldn't be heavy. I don't know why you got me crying up in here.
That ain't on me. But yeah, it shouldn't be.
Need some water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo! Jesus. We are on the right path.
And this is what, like, so helping people do that is what that whole scripture about, when you said that, made me think about the scripture about take upon my yoke, because my yoke is easy and my burdens are light.
I hope you put that on that paper document. What scripture is that?
I can't remember the exact scripture, but let me add it on there.
On there.
On my note.
On your notes, because that's the truth. And at the end of the day, we're overwhelming ourselves with looking at everybody who seems to be living, and then we're not. We're existing on God's blessed earth.
Lies. Come on, Carmen. It's like it's delayed, like my
Yeah,
probably
because
because I'm
we
sharing.
sharing.
Okay, yeah, okay.
It is.
And this is one of the things too, like I'm still wrapping my head around some of the teachings around that, around just this whole suffering teaching, suffering for the cause of Christ. And I'm doing some studying around that because I don't know if it the suffering in the way we interpret suffering.
I don't know that. All I know is that all I stand on is the last word. And the last word is that he has come so that I might have life and have it more abundantly. So I don't believe
There's yeah, well, and yeah, so there's a theology around that, right? And so that's a whole nother part that comes into this identifying beliefs and core values and stuff, is like how do you see God? Because that impacts how you show up in your
But
face. So all of that.
what's the truth of his word? And there's a reason that Jesus got up. It's a reason.
And then gave us all the power.
And gave us all the power and left us with a really light load.
And when you read, this John 17, when Jesus, which really literally is the Lord's Prayer, when Jesus is praying, when he prays for us, he prays that we might believe and that we love.
That's it.
He's like,
it.
I just need you to believe and love.
That's it. That's all. And that's purpose for me. When people be asking me, oh, I don't know my purpose. That's it.
I'm like, literally, he prayed this over us. Like, this is Jesus' words praying over us. That's what he wants us to do. Believe in love.
Believe in love. It's not heavy. It's not heavy. Man has made it heavy. Man keeps trying to get over in the grave with Jesus, and he's not there.
Yeah. Good.
Okay, this is good. All right, I'm gonna let you sit.
I'm glad you recorded this. Thank you.
Amen. No, if I ever forget, remind me.
You. Okay.
Yeah, because we might not have recorded the first one, but then stuff like this happened.
Right.
But sit with this because I want to take you to the next thing, but I think you need to sit with this because I think we got something, but I really want you to sit with this for a second. And if anything come up, text me because I really think now we can move on to the next part.
Okay. Oh, and I wanted to talk to you. Let me stop sharing.
Stop sharing, but before you talk about the book, back to love power, right? You are an international, global, world-renowned speaker. Love power is your brand. What we're creating right now is your signature system to help people have a life fulfilled.
Okay.
Love power is going to be entwined all in there, but that's not the language of this, what we're doing. This is your course, your program, your life's mission. Parts of that are going to be synonymous with love power, because let's say you're doing a teaching on love power community. A part of this program is going to be, you can move over to teach on that. It's not this is like your foundation of how do you help people to really come into a full life. Which is what
and so to me, I feel like love, power, and life fulfilled are synonymous. Like if you have a life fulfilled, it is a love, power life.
Yeah. And you can do, because love power is your brand. Yeah. But people don't walk around and say, I just need some love power.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that's my point.
I guess my question is, I'm trying to do videos and stuff. Do I can continue using love power, that language? Okay.
You are love power. You need, I think that love power in and of itself is a book.
Yeah.
The whole movement. You started something. Everybody was tagging you, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if they still are, but you started something there. Write your book on love power, do your seminars, do your courses. It's very light. But now so love power can be the beginning of asking for people to ask for more. Once they ask for more, now we have an actual course program, curriculum
Mhm.
around what that actually looks like in action.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
It's not gonna be light, it's not gonna be fluffy, it's gonna be
Mm-mm.
calming.
Mhm.
All right, you got some
You
homework.
did. I do. So